Somewhere in your house, there is a photograph of you as a baby. Someone is holding you. You are smiling or crying or reaching for something just out of frame. You have no idea who took that photo. You have no idea what happened 5 minutes before it or 5 minutes after. And here is the strange part. That moment happened to you, not to someone else. To you. So why does it feel like it happened to a stranger? Most people assume they simply forgot. A hazy first few years, slowly sharpening into memory somewhere around age 3 or 4. But that is not what is happening inside your skull. Your brain was not failing to record those years. It was refusing to. There is a difference. And once you understand that difference, you will never think about your own childhood the same way again. Scientists have a name for this. They call it infantile amnesia. The term was actually coined over a century ago by Sigmund Freud, who noticed something odd in his patients. Adults could describe their childhood in vivid detail from around age 6 or 7 onward, but almost nobody could recall anything specific from before age 3. Freud thought this was psychological, a kind of repression. Modern neuroscience has a very different explanation, and it has nothing to do with trauma or suppression at all. Think about your brain in the first 2 years of your life. It is not a small, incomplete version of your adult brain. It is a construction site. Neurons are firing at a pace that will never be matched again in your lifetime. Connections are forming by the millions, every single day. But one particular structure is still under heavy construction. It is called the hippocampus. You can think of it as the brain's filing clerk. Its job is to take a raw experience and file it away as a long-term memory you can retrieve later. In infancy, that filing clerk has not finished setting up the office. The hippocampus is growing new neurons at an explosive rate, a process called neurogenesis. And here is the twist. That rapid growth might actually be the reason old memories cannot survive. Every time a new neuron gets wired into the hippocampus, it can disrupt the existing circuits that older memories were relying on. The system is rewiring itself so fast that nothing gets to sit still long enough to become permanent. So the memories are not lost in a drawer somewhere, waiting to be found. The filing cabinet itself was still being built. There was nowhere for them to go. But here is where it gets more interesting, because babies clearly do remember things, at least in the short term. A 6-month-old can recognize their mother's face across a room. A 1-year-old can remember where a favorite toy was hidden yesterday. So something is being stored. It is just not being stored the way adult memories are stored. Psychologist Peterson has spent decades studying how children's memories change as they grow. In one of her studies, she interviewed children about a memorable event, then went back and asked them about the very same event years later. What she found was striking. Children under the age of 10 had already begun losing access to memories from their early years, even memories that had felt vivid and detailed shortly after the event occurred. The window was not closing all at once. It was closing gradually, quietly, over years. Another researcher, Patricia Bauer, has spent her career studying exactly when and how autobiographical memory develops in young children. Her research suggests the hippocampus does not simply switch on one day and start recording everything perfectly. It develops in layers. Basic memory functions come online first. The ability to place a memory in time, to connect it to a sense of self, to weave it into an ongoing life story that comes much later. A toddler can remember an event happened. What a toddler cannot yet do is stitch that event into a narrative that says, "This happened to me as part of my life." And that might be the real key to the whole mystery. Autobiographical memory is not just about storing information. It requires a sense of self stable enough to hang the memory on. Before a child develops a continuous sense of me existing across time, a memory has nowhere to attach. It is like trying to hang a photograph on a wall that has not been built yet. There is also language. Children who have more vocabulary earlier tend to retain slightly more memories from their early years. Why would talking have anything to do with remembering? Because putting an experience into words seems to help the brain organize and preserve it. A toddler who cannot yet say, "The dog scared me at the park," has a harder time encoding that event as a story with a beginning, middle, and end. Language becomes scaffolding for memory. Without it, experiences stay as fragments, fragments that fade. So if you ask most adults for their earliest memory, you will get answers clustering somewhere between age 3 and